I mean, you want to look symmetrical anyway, otherwise you're like Johnny Bravo. And I love Johnny Bravo, damn hero of our time. More important than I'm ever going to be on this planet. But in real life, Johnny Bravo looks weird. Hands up if your fitness life has become, hey, I'll train as hard as I can at home, but for some reason, I'll also just eat a bunch of crap and pretend it's dirty bulking season. Oh, look, my hand has just gone up. Let's not worry about it right now. The world has gone crazy, as we do know, and we're just doing what we can. But that's today why we're going to talk about some things you don't want to do in case you want your muscles to grow, and nobody wants their muscles to stop growing if you're going to the gym. That's the whole point why you're there. I mean, I'm not saying you want to be big and jacked like a pro bodybuilder, but I assume you want to be big and jacked to some certain degree. And that's why my name is Simon Miller. I love weightlifting. I love bodybuilding. And this year I decided, hey, I'm going to start talking about it on YouTube. And that is what we're going to do today. If you hit the subscribe button, I will come and give you a kiss. If you hit the like button, I will come and take this kiss back, but it's in a good way. It's all done with positive and cheer and happy faces. But yeah, basically, I know everybody's diets and fitness plans right now have gone out the window, but there are a few things that I'm not saying you never want to do, because you've got to make sure you enjoy your life. But again, a few people said, Simon, are there certain things I should definitely stay away from if I'm prioritizing my gains? And I went, you're damn right there is. So here's a video about just that. Number 10 is alcohol. And I know you're crying and you hate it and you want to kill me. I am just the messenger. Now, I will admit I don't drink alcohol. I gave it up when I was 18 years of age. If you want to know more, there's a video. I'll try and remember to put a link somewhere on the screen, but I always forget. So I'll keep it nice and short, just so you know. When you do drink alcohol, and I'm talking about, I don't want to say excessive amounts, but when, you know what I'm talking about, when you get drunk or when you know you've taken too much in, you basically stop your muscles from recovering, because the antioxidants in your body that are shuttled to your muscles when you've lifted and, you know, your body's like, oh, we've got to make these muscles grow. Those antioxidants will instead go to start making you feel better after you've gone out and get wasted is the short story. And that's kind of the reason. I mean, obviously there's empty calories, as people say, in alcohol. I don't like to say that, because if you enjoy a beer or a glass of wine or a gin and tonic, it's not empty because you're getting some kind of worth out of them. But they are empty in the sense they don't really have much nutritional value. But on top of that, especially when you're talking about the evolution and progression of your physique to where you want it to go, yeah, if your body can't recover, that's the key when it comes to all muscle building, really, is allow your muscles to recover and then kick their ass again. And if you can't do that, it may be a bit longer before you can go to the gym again. And of course, essentially in the priority list in your body, recovery from alcohol will go number 1 and muscles will fall down here. So it's going to stop you building muscle. I'm not going to advocate that you should just give up booze altogether if you want to do that, because again, like I just say, you are prioritizing muscle growth. It is absolutely going to help you a little bit, but it's not like you'll wake up in a week and go, oh man, I've just smashed on 6 pounds of muscle. But it is a deterrent, and it is something you should think about. And just for the comments too, because I know what they'll do, because I didn't really describe that very well, I realized from a scientific point of view, these antioxidants, usually would be reserved for or being used for muscle growth and muscle repair. But when you drink alcohol and you need to metabolize it, that's what these antioxidants go and do instead. I can't say that word. Antioxidants must move on. Number 9 is not weighing your food or not actually knowing what's going into your system. Now, this works twofold, because somebody the other day got in touch and said, Simon, I kind of just eat whatever I want in terms of portion sizes. Do you think this is okay? And I said, well, yes, if that's what you want to do. However, I think you have to weigh your food, because if you don't know how much food is going in, and I mean, you can try and figure out how much food is going out, but that's a lot harder. You know, you can't make significant changes when you want to make changes. So let's say you're into the whole bulk cut thing, which is kind of, I wouldn't say it's dying out, but there are a lot of successful people out there, fitness people, that don't necessarily adhere to that anymore. But if you are going with that method, which does work, hence why it's been around for ages, how do you know how much to cut? I mean, you can guess, but it makes much more sense to use numbers. Like if you went into a scientific lab, you wouldn't just be guessing. You'd want them to be very specific, and I think that's kind of how you have to treat your body. So if you are having things like chicken, rice, potato, I mean, whatever you're eating, right? Even vegetables, weigh your vegetables and try and get as good a take on your calorie count as possible. Because if you know how many calories you're eating, then you can kind of try and, shift it in here and shift it in there. Or I guess trying to refine it so you are actually building muscle as opposed to putting on fat and whatever else your body can do. So I know it sucks. I know it's boring. But once you've got it down, you can just make changes here and there. It's like doing your tax return. If you do it every single month throughout the year, when you get to April, April. So, oh, sweet, it's not going to take me any time. If you do it all in March, like, oh, it's the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Treat that like that. There'll be one big outlay, and then you can just chop and change as you go. Take a few calories out here, put a few calories out there. Maybe you're going to increase your rice to an extra 10 grams. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's massively important. Number 8 is constant snacking. Now, there's nothing wrong with snacking, but you just got to be smart about what you're snacking on. And a large, I guess that worries a bit much, but the problem is a lot of the fitness stuff out there will have you believe certain things, and they are true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can just snack away at them. Like, again, somebody got in touch with me and said, Simon, when I get hungry, I just snack away on nuts. And I said, what exactly do you mean, snack away on nuts? And they said, well, just eat a bag of nuts. I was like, don't eat a bag of nuts. I mean, look, nuts are really good in the sense that they have good fats, which are going to help you out, and they're relatively high in protein, but they are still rammed with calories. So if you're just eating bags and bags of nuts, because again, this rhetoric out there that nuts are super healthy, well, again, if you could somehow pile in 3,000 calories worth of broccoli, it's not going to be that healthy for you if you're only burning off 1,500 calories a day. You'll start to get fat. So just be really aware of what you're snacking on. Again, somebody else got in touch with me. They said, oh, Simon, I'm just drinking loads of protein all the time. I'm not worrying about it. Okay, I guess that doesn't really pertain to the title of this video, because if you get loads of protein in, it is going to help with your muscle growth. You will stop building muscle if you're not taking enough protein in. But again, if you're taking too much and your body doesn't know what to do with it, it will just store it as fat, because it doesn't, again, it can't use it as energy because you're overeating essentially. So be well aware on what you're snacking on. There are certain snacks you can't, everything is fine, but do it in moderation. Like snacks that I would have some nuts, but you know, I'm talking about a small amount. Sometimes just have a massive bowl of salad, because it's all about just, you're only eating to fill up your brain. So I can do that. Popcorn's another good one. And there are so many small things you can do. And a protein shake is fine, but this guy was having like 12 protein shakes a day. Remember, protein supplement, you do need other things as well. Number 7 is not changing your routine. Your body learns. Your body is an incredible tool, and if you are doing the same thing week in, week out, which I guess is one good plus about us all being stuck in our houses and not being able to go to the gym, if you do not change it up, your brain gets into a pattern, your body gets into a pattern, and essentially what you need to do is shock it into growth. And a lot of people don't do that, and I was massively guilty of this recently. I'd been in my workout routine for ages, wasn't seeing, you know, the progression that I wanted. I was like, well, you've been doing this now for around about, 4, 5, maybe even 6 months. It's time to change things up. And that could be as simple as going to lightweight for a little while, or concentrating more on your form, or bringing in new exercises. I mean, there are 1,000 things you can do, but never ever get stuck down doing one thing for too long, especially when it starts to feel like you're hitting a plateau. If you start to think you've hit a plateau, it's probably that you've already hit the plateau and you're only just catching up. So always try and stay ahead of that. The next point kind of ties into how there is no real set reason to this. It could be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but let's move to the next point and I'll throw it all in. Because number 6 is changing your routine too soon, because we're all desperate to get massive inject as quickly as possible. But yeah, somebody, again, so all my videos are to do with comments, because I want to give you guys the information that you're interested in. So I've been doing my program for about 6 weeks. I haven't seen a huge amount of difference. Should I change it? And I was like, well, 6 weeks is not a huge amount of time. I mean, I think you'd know within yourself whether you needed to or not. You can be quite savvy with the body if you listen to it. But no, I would always give something sort of 8 to 10 weeks minimum, probably even 12, because you have to give things time to work. It may be that you're a very slow responder. It's a term I've just made up. But you may be a slow responder and you get to that 12-week mark and all of a sudden, zoom. So yes, I know, what a stupid thing to say. Don't change your plan too much, but also make sure you change your plan. You're like, how does that help? But it all does depend on your body. But you need to do those two things. Don't get so annoyed with it that you're changing it before you've given it a chance to work. And yeah, don't do the opposite either. I know a lot of it's trial and error when it comes to bodybuilding and fitness and muscles. It just is. You can take all the information from bald assholes like me, but it's trial and error, and then you'll soon understand how your body works. But these can hopefully be used as like structural beams you can put down, and then you build your own house on top. Number 5 is ignoring your core. Again, something I was massively responsible for years and years ago. I mean, it's not going to stop you building muscle, but of course, the stronger your core, the stronger your compound movements are likely going to be. That makes sense if you write it down on paper as an equation. And therefore, if you want a better squat, you want a better deadlift, you want a better bench press, you want a better military press, shoulder press, if you're working on your core and trying to lift from the middle, that's just going to help. And it's going to help when you try and get ripped, because you're probably going to have a more solid midsection. So work your core. There are thousands of ways to do it. Even a plank is fine. Even you just making sure you plank all the time, that's going to work your core. But just don't. It's never something you really see in, like, best exercises for the body. No one really mentions your core. You mention abdominals, but it's a little bit different. Just research the core and you'll see that the core is really important for building muscle. Number 4 is not training hard enough. Now, I am throwing this one in here for me, I think, and I'm going to assume that maybe there are some people out there who are like me. I'm very, very sorry. My mum will feel bad as well. It's a joke. You can fall into routines without realizing it, and I was doing it double fold. I hadn't changed my routine in quite a while, so I was struggling there. And because of that, I guess I was going through the motions, and I wasn't training very intensely or intently, which is another reason I started doing these videos, because I realized talking about it actually got me infused for it once more. Not that I ever don't love it, I did, but it helped me in the gym, and it made me realize that it all depends on the state you're at in terms of lifting. Like, you shouldn't be going all out crazy if you only just started, and if you're a moderate lifter, you should be lifting a little bit more than a novice, and if you're an advanced, you should be pushing yourself as hard as you can, because your muscles are going to be more developed, and therefore they're going to be harder to shock into growth for all the reasons we've just talked about. But do always ensure you're training hard enough for you. I don't mean to keep bringing the world situation into this, but it does help, because even right now, let's say all you can do is body squats in terms of leg day. And if you do 1,000 body squats, and you really, really push those last few when your legs are burning, you will see a response. Your body will be shocked into growth. So intensity is the key. Working hard is the key. Remember, it's not meant to be easy, because if it was, everyone would do it. Number 3 is training muscle groups once a week. My personal preference, just because when I started to train muscle groups twice a week, I saw growth. So it's as simple as that. I do push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, rest. It was just a really good decision. And it's standard maths, right? If you're training back once a week, you're training it 52 times a year. If you're training back twice a week, you're training it 104 times a year. You got to be smart. You got to be careful. Got to make sure you're recovering. All the things we've gone over, I don't want to repeat it. But I really do think if anything I've said sounds like you in the same routine, struggling to change, and you're not doing that, I think I put that as my number 1 thing that you should do to get yourself out in the rut and to make sure your muscles start growing again. Number 2 is stress. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could just hear this video and go, oh, I am really stressed. I'm going to stop being stressed. But it's not like a light switch. It ties into mental health, and it ties into loads of other stuff as well. What you may not know, and you may do, I'm just going to remind you of this, is that when you are stressed, your levels of cortisol go up, which is the stress hormone, and the higher cortisol, well, it's just not great for your muscles. For starters, it stops your body using glucose properly, which may actually lead to muscle breakdown. I mean, it can happen, so it's something that we need to talk about. And it can increase appetite and, in turn, fat storage. So these are all the things that we don't want, and it comes from being stressed. Also, when you're stressed, if your appetite goes up, you may be more likely to go, to hell with it, and go and cheat on your diet. We're going to do a video on cheating on your diet this week. Loads of people have got in touch with me about that, so we'll talk about it. Don't beat yourself up is the small one, but again. So even if you're doing yoga, you're taking an hour for yourself every day, you have a nap, you chill out, whatever it is, play FIFA, whatever it is going to make you feel calm, trying to lower those stress levels is really, really important, and maybe not only important for your muscles and the way you look, but your brain too. There's loads of sort of blood tests online retailers. I don't want to mention names because they don't pay me no money, but there's loads of online blood retailers where you can actually test your cortisol levels. So if you do have a little spare cash rolling around at the moment, I know nobody does, I would advocate actually trying to test your cortisol levels to see what they are. And if they are a bit higher than you would like, just try and chill out. It's incredible that when you can get that under control, even by sleeping more, that will help hugely, you do start seeing your body respond. Even your skin will be better. Like I know people that have spots and they get their cortisol levels down and their acne actually clears up a little bit. So don't underrate small things like that. It's so easy to, best products for muscle building, and there's all these testosterone boosters and magic pills, magic potions. Sometimes it's as simple as actually just trying to be relaxed. And number 1 is you're only training trophy muscles. The number 1 thing that we all do, and the number 1 thing that all gym bros will do till the end of time. You just want to look good when you're walking on the beach in the summer, which you can't even do at the moment. So you train your arms and you change your chest. Some people don't train their back, which I find crazy. They just want to be able to go like that, and everyone goes, oh man, it looks so good. But then you look at the legs and you're like, bro, strong wind is going to knock you over. I mean, you want to look symmetrical anyway, otherwise you're like Johnny Bravo. And I love Johnny Bravo, damn hero of our time. More important than I'm ever going to be on this planet. But in real life, Johnny Bravo looks weird.
She deserves to go to the prom with a hunkin' stud with a buck bod.
So, and if you want, I don't know how true this stuff is, but there are scientific reports that should give you some hope. If you do squat and if you train leg hards, there's no S's in there. If you do squats and you train legs hard, apparently you will promote testosterone in your system, and that will help all your muscles to grow. Also, if you have a good squat, you're probably going to have a good deadlift, and vice versa. So you're going to be lifting stronger all around. don't just train. I mean, you can do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy in the gym. But if you are just training arm and chest, your muscles will stop growing because you're ignoring quads, hamstring, calves, lats. I mean, you're just ignoring the deltoids, trapezius. You're ignoring so many stuff. So don't just train your trophy muscles. If there are really some things you don't like doing, just don't do them, but find other exercises that you do like. So if you hate working out, I know everyone hates working legs. It sucks. But if you don't like doing lunges, I mean, the way I approach it is do them anyway. Do them first. Before, because that way you've got them out of the way. But if you really don't want to do them, do squats, do quad raises, do hamstring curls. There are so many things you can do. If you're not training legs at all, one exercise is a step in the right direction. You can do one squat, and that's more than you did the previous week. Don't train trophy muscles, or just train them. Train them, but don't just train them. And that's it. That's my top 10 list. I appreciate it as always. If you think I'm an idiot, as a load of people do, there's a comment box. Right stuff. Aaron K, you can say whatever you want. YouTube loves engagement, which is also why I'm going to ask you to like the video, share the video, and hit that subscribe button. We've got quite a few subscribers over the last few weeks, and I realize it makes me happy because I have no self-worth. I need a random number to go up. Half a joke, obviously half true. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/SimonMiller316, because you earn no money from YouTube, as I say every time. I will not say it in this video. But more importantly, thank you to everybody that watches these. Thank you to everyone that says nice words. Less thanks to the people that call me a dick, but you're still here. That's all I care about. You click my video. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow.